Hello, my name is Thomson and today I'm going to show you how to balance the Glidecam HD2000 with your DSLR to hopefully achieve shots just like this. So the first thing to remember before doing any types of balancing is make sure your lens cap is off, your memory cards are in, and your fresh batteries are in, so the camera is pretty much set up, ready to rock. Also pick the focal length of your lens, because when it comes to actually shooting, you will not be able to change this because it will massively affect the balance of the camera. I'm using the Canon 6D with the Tamron 24-70mm 2.8, an extra battery grip, and the Manfrotto 577 quick release plate on the bottom. That actually increases the weight of my rig to make it a little bit more stable to actually fly with. The compromise is that because it's heavier, I'm going to get more tired more quickly, but I've used a Glidecam for an entire day shoot before, between 8 and 10 hours, and I've been absolutely fine. So it depends on the actual person. As you can see, my rig is fairly well balanced, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. The first thing you need to do is start simply with the center of gravity of your camera, the center of balance. With most DSLRs, it's roughly between the lens and the camera body, somewhere in the middle, just like that. Now, as my camera has a battery grip and the quick release plate, I know that it's going to be a little bit further camera body heavy than towards the lens, but the best way to test it is simply rest your camera on a cylindrical object, that could be a pen or even your finger, and just roll it backwards and forwards until the camera feels about balanced. Now, if you don't have a quick release plate, then what you're most likely going to do is attach your camera onto the cheese plate, simply into the rear center hole, which I'm going to show you right now. So I've got a quick release plate, which is why my camera is attached a little bit further forward, but for you, if you don't have a quick release plate, you're more likely going to be in the rear row, right in the center there. So that the center of gravity of my camera, when it's on the actual rig, is directly beneath the main pole here. And then we have to work out the weights that go on the bottom. So I know that my Glidecam actually needs 6 weights in order to balance the camera body itself. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you what the impact of it is without the correct weights. So I've started from scratch. I've now got 2 weights on the bottom of my sled, which is just the flat bottom part of my Glidecam. And I'm going to pick up my Glidecam and show you the effect of having too little weight on the bottom. It should tip upside down. Okay. So as you can see, the camera body is way heavier than the actual sled here. So what I would have to do to counteract that is I would have to extend the sled pole out. That is actually the maximum length in which I can extend it out. So I'll just drop it back in and tighten it. Okay, now I'm going to lift up the Glidecam and see the impact. Now unfortunately the camera body is still a little bit too heavy. To counteract this, I would now add additional weights to the actual sled. So I've added some extra weight to my Glidecam. The aim of the game is to simply stop it from tipping over for now. Okay, we're still too camera heavy, so I'm going to extend the sled out a little bit further and lock it off. Okay, that's not too bad. We still need to do some finer adjustments, but at least the camera's not tipping over. The next thing to do is what's called a drop test, which is between 2 and 3 seconds. You literally hold the camera out to the side and drop the Glidecam so it returns to a vertical position. So I'm going to drop that now and count. 1, 2. Now that's a little bit fast in my opinion, so I'm just going to lower the sled down a little bit further and lock off and try again. So lift, go central, 1, 2, that was more like 2.5, so that's fine, I'm fine with that. It's between 2 and 3 seconds. So you have a rough drop time there. The next step is to do your finer adjustments. So the way I do it, I simply find a flat surface. It could be out on location, could be the street, the floor, could be a desk like I've got here in front of me, could be absolutely anything, as long as it's a flat-ish surface. And you simply lift your Glidecam and just judge which way it tilts. Now mine at the moment is leaning backwards, so it's a little bit back heavy. Now what I would do to change that, or to alter that, is to use these finer adjustment knobs here. There's one on the side, which is the left and right adjustment, and there's one on the rear here, which is the forward and backward adjustment. Now, just stick with one axis for now. So if we're going to stick with just the side-to-side motion, I'm going to use just this knob firstly. You have to unscrew all of the notches here. There's actually 8 in total, 4 on the side and 4 on the bottom here. And I simply lift and drop. and do my tiny adjustments. Lift and drop. It's a little bit too heavy, lift and drop. That's a little bit too much. Lift and drop. Okay, I'm just going to do it this way for my ease. That's not too bad. Now I'm going to do the forward and backwards motion. And now I'm just going to do the final micro adjustments. Takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of getting used to get it absolutely perfect. That doesn't seem too bad actually. Once you're roughly happy with it, you can then tighten it off. Make sure you tighten each of these the exact same amount, so don't unscrew one a little bit and unscrew the other side completely, because that will actually affect the balance of your Glidecam. Screw it all back together, lifting up my Glidecam, and I can see that it's actually pretty well balanced and now good to go. I would just go through and do some final adjustments just to make sure it's perfect before actually going out and operating. Hopefully you found that interesting and it actually helped you to balance your Glidecam. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to operate the Glidecam.